Hey everybody, Simon here, owner and admin of the Altered Weekly Online League, otherwise known as AWOL. Equinox and Altered have been kind enough to give me a spoiler for Whispers from the Maze, and I could not think of a better way to share it than through a competitive-minded video discussing the card. Before we showcase this very fun new card, though, that I'm really excited for, let's talk a little bit about AWOL. AWOL is a weekly tournament series hosted on Board Game Arena. It's completely free to enter, and all of the prizing is paid out of pocket of myself. Players can get a casually competitive environment that allows them to hone their skills in, and there's even a season invitational at the end of the season, which allows for players to practice for larger events that might not be online. All of our weekly tournaments are streamed on this very same YouTube channel, and they get cataloged as VODs if you want to go back and watch them afterwards. You can often find good tidbits of information from our very talented stream team, so I highly recommend checking it out. I'll give you more information about that seasonal invitational at the end of the video, but for now, let's get into the reveals. So, when I was first contacted by Equinox, I was very surprised, but it was a nice surprise. I mean, I've always wanted to reveal a card, and Altered has been very important to my life so far since the release, so I can't say that I reacted normally. I was very happy to get this reveal. Some background. I pretty much exclusively play Kojo and Bravos. I do enjoy other hero cards and factions, but Kojo specifically is my guy. He is my favorite hero to play with, and I just enjoy using him the most. If I want to play to win, such as the Tumult Championship, Kojo is my go-to, and I think the card that we have today actually pairs quite nicely with him. So, let's take a look at the common. We have Bravos Excavator. For 2 mana from the hand in the reserve, we're looking at a card that I think has a lot of potential. The cheaper the mana, the better in Altered, and the 2 mana slot is one that needs lots of options in Bravos. The stat line of 1/1/3 is about on par with other cards in this mana cost, with maybe a point or two lower than what you'd expect. I will say that it's helpful to have extra water, since things like Mighty Djinn and Fire Rabbit eat up your forest and mountain attribute regions without providing water themselves. But the ability is where it really shines. It lets it give boosts to another character when it leaves the expedition zone, whether it be in your reserve, sent back to your hand, goes to the discard pile, it'll do it on any of them. It's a very strong turn 1 or 2 play, and it lets you keep bouncing those higher stats around. Something like a physical training means that you get to effectively double up on those stats because they get to pass to the next card in play or in reserve. Like I said earlier, the best part in my mind says when it leaves the expedition zone, so it works when it's returned to the hand, discarded, sent to the reserve, even when it has fleeting. If both it and another character go to reserve at the same time too, you can put the boosts onto the other character, much like an Ouroboros Inkcaster. A great example here is on turn 2, you can play the Excavator, then follow it up with a Chiron to put a boost onto the Excavator. After dusk during night, they'll go to the reserve, and you get to put that boost back onto the Chiron, giving it a stronger body the next time you play it, effectively compounding those statistics. Another card that I think that has cool synergy with is the Haven Bravos Bastion. Being able to potentially leave a character in the reserve for you to boost up, while also boosting the Excavator when you play it, makes a very strong turn 2 play with any Bravos deck, not just in Kojo. I'm really excited for the common, and I think it can easily see play in Kojo, but I really think it'll shine in Basira, where you can amplify those boosts even more. Next, let's take a look at the in-faction rare. Bravos Excavator's rare has the exact same stats, but it has a slightly increased reserve mana cost and a new support ability. The support ability allows it to stockpile even more boosts while it's in the reserve. Being able to gain up to 3 boosts in total, 1 for each time you play another character, means that oftentimes this card can become a 4 mana 3/3/5 or even 4/4/6 from the reserve, which then is able to transfer over them to something else. If a boost is valued at roughly 1 mana, this card scales very well in the best case scenarios. However, I think that the worst case scenarios for the rare often look like a 4-mana 2/2/4, which is not impressive whatsoever, so I'd hesitate to play the rare without some sort of dedicated support in my deck to make sure that I'm triggering the high case scenario consistently. Lastly, let's talk about the out of faction rare. The out of faction rare for this card is an Axiom, and with the new text it gains, it makes plenty of sense for it to be an Axiom. Instead of only being able to transfer boosts to characters in your reserve, it instead gains the ability to augment a card in play or reserve. Augment is a new mechanic that effectively says that target non-hero card gains one more counter of a type it already has there. Unfortunately, this does mean it can't give Traced more scrap counters, but it still has utility. It can work quite well with a few cards we already have, namely the Icebound Landmarks, as well as with new cards like the Refinery or Nylum Spires. That doesn't even include the fact that it can also give boosts, and if your opponent decides to hit it with a removal spell, you can transfer those boosts to a character you already have in play, so you can still keep some of the stats around on the board. I really like this out of faction rare. Although it's not something you can immediately put into any Axiom deck, it requires specific deck building, but it's rewarding when you pull it off. I think those are really fun rares to play with, and I can't wait to see what people do with this Bravos Excavator. That's all I have for reveals, but before I leave, let's talk about the upcoming AWOL Seasonal Invitational on Saturday, May 24th. If you don't know, AWOL works on a seasonal basis, with the release of a new set marking the start of a new season and the end of an old one. Roughly 2 weeks before the set officially releases, we cap off the prior season with a seasonal invitational. The seasonal invitational serves to showcase the best of the best from our community, those who have made top 16 at any one of our weekly events. Those players then get the opportunity to play in a tournament which culminates in a top 8 bracket where the winner gets an entire booster box of prizing of the newest set for their accomplishment. The rest of top 8 gets other prizing as well from the new set, so it's a great tournament featuring plenty of fun and good prizes for our players. We'll be streaming the entire event, so make sure to tune in on Saturday, May 24th. Because this is a global tournament and we have players from all around the world, I highly recommend checking out our Discord server linked in the description of this video for more information regarding the tournament. But, just for reference, the event will start at 5 p.m. Central European Time, 11 a.m. Eastern US Time, or 8 a.m. Pacific Time. Once again, check out the Discord for more information on the event. We still have 2 more tournaments you can qualify in and get that seasonal invitational qualification. There will be one on Monday, May 19th, and the other is on Wednesday, May 21st. The sign-up links can be found in our Discord server, so please feel free to join, and I hope to see you there. Until next time, this has been Simon from A.W.O.L. Keep exploring the tumult.